note that investigative advocates, including certain members, moderators, affiliates, have actually harassed me, spammed me on my page, and stirred up dangerous energy. Echoing to the cyberbullying, some of the people that's yelling this are the same ones that started this, even with the people they mentioned, started this whole cyberbullying.
I remember hearing that complaint loud and clear, that every time someone tried to speak directly to Tiffany, she wouldn't even look at them. Not once. You could be pleading, asking questions, or calling her out, and she'd just stare off like you didn't even exist. Go back and watch the footage yourself if you think it's a reach. At no point, zero eye contact. That's not just disrespectful, that's intentional. That's psychological warfare disguised as politics.
Good evening. I echo some of the same sentiments about Robert Hunt. This is no disrespect to him as a person. I feel like he doesn't have a lot of integrity to me from what I've seen.
No, definitely don't.
Seems like he does what he's told to do and not what's right, and that's a hard pill to swallow when he's the finance director. I just tried to talk to him now. He said he'll be back or whatever it was, but still no engagement. I do appreciate that he gave the report and that he fielded some questions, but I mean, he had time to answer. I don't feel like he's availed himself to just answer freely. Secondly, one thing about the budget, I do understand what you guys have presented. For me, I think the real comparison comes next budget year, fiscal year, when we actually get to see what was spent compared to what was allotted. Because I feel like there's no baseline. So, I mean, they're operating kind of without, real structure being in place previously. So I actually understand that. And I'm anxious to see next year, this time, this budget that is presented and voted upon compared to the next budget, and then what was actuals versus what was projected. Because they did explain if certain things aren't used, then that money is not, it's reallocated or it's retained. So I understand that. So I'm gonna cut them some slack because of that. And I think that's a more fair comparison next year. Secondly, I wanna say, echoing to the cyberbullying, some of the people that's yelling this are the same ones that started this, even with the people they mentioned, started this whole cyberbullying campaign. I want to say about Babe Solo, specifically Jesse Jones, whatever you go by, please leave my name off of your content. You're trying to get clicks by creating mess. I've never said I wanted to fight you, never called you out your name, never did anything other than ask you to just stop talking or to lower your voice. It's all recorded. So I'm not sure why, at your age especially, you're in.
Say it with your chest, baby. Say it like you mean it. These people out here be doing the absolute most. The thirst is unreal. I'm talking desert level dehydration. Just watch this lady right here is laughing so hard, she already knows what it is. She knows exactly who we're talking about. Yeah, that's Babe Solo. That name ring a bell. It should. She's been bouncing around everybody's chat like a ping pong ball. Now all of a sudden, she got her own little channel and wants to act brand new. I've seen her before, trust me. The face, the name, the vibe, it's all too familiar. And let me explain why I'm super picky with moderators. Y'all notice? I barely have any. That's on purpose. People like Babe Solo will be a mod in channels that don't even mess with each other. She out here playing both sides like it's a sport. Who does that? She'll be sliding in everybody's lives like, can I be a mod? Like, girl, why you so thirsty for a wrench? You don't need that kind of power unless you're trying to silence folks. If you ask me to be a mod, I'm already side-eyeing you. Why you so pressed to mute people? And now look, she's sitting there with that little bucket hat on, acting like we ain't clocked her behavior. Vivian knew what was up to. The second she got addressed, she turned into a statue. Didn't blink, didn't flinch. That's Tiffany energy, all defay composed while being hella petty. You can tell she heard her. Everybody heard her. But she refused to even turn her head. Wouldn't even acknowledge the woman speaking directly to her face. Like, ma'am, this ain't Game of Thrones, look people in the eye when they call you out. That's silence. That's guilt. Something I don't forget, stuff like that. The same folks crying about being ignored are now doing the exact same thing. They out here on every platform trying to rewrite the narrative like we ain't got receipts. I peeped the hypocrisy, and I'm calling it out. Thank you to the administrations for dragging y'all into this messy reality show. But when it's giving Tiffany 2.0, it has to be addressed. Because why is it always the same ones? Smile in your face, mute your mic. Then act confused when you bring up the past. Please, ain't too many things worse than a full-blown hypocrite. And let me tell you something, when you're dead wrong and someone calls you out, eye contact becomes a mirror. That's accountability staring right back at you. That's why she avoids it like the plague. She knows exactly what she's doing and exactly who she's lying to. But she can't look her in the face, because that would mean owning it. It's actually kind of hilarious when you think about it. That woman stood up, said what she said, and didn't blink. Real time, real life. Right in front of them. And both of them just sat there like mannequins. This ain't the internet. This was live. They're not used to that smoke in person. They're used to throwing shade behind the scenes and faking smiles in public. But that's not how this works anymore. Some people thrive off chaos and confusion, the mess, then play victim when the fire starts. Not me. Not today. I'm publicly asking keep my name out your mess. I want no part in your storyline, sis. Thanks. And as for the one cackling like this is a game, watch closely. She's quiet now, but she's been loud before, and look at this petty performance. Soon as the speaker sits down, suddenly someone else gets called up and guess who magically regains neck mobility? Oh yeah, her neck works now. Don't worry, y'all, she's cured. Must have been temporary paralysis during confrontation. But now she's twisting and turning like nothing happened. Mama said there'd be days like this. But let's not lose focus. This ain't personal. It's public comment. It's observation. Let's rewind to July 14th. Bradley stepped up and asked the new supervisor if he thought mimicking Tiffany's moves was a good look. And just like that, denial on demand, I wasn't critical, he said. Deflection 101, accountability. Still missing in action? Bradley asked again. Don't you think this looks bad after everything residents went through? And the supervisor dodged again with that old PR line. That's an unfair assessment. But here's our assessment. Behind closed doors, a political play was made to restore a blocked salary. Leaders vouched for it. Now their credibility is hanging by a thread. You were told a forensic audit had been voted on. You even admitted no RFP was done, no auditor was hired, you sat on it, did nothing. And that same finance director from Tiffany's regime, still there, still unchecked. And just cooked up a budget so flawed, it either shows pure incompetence or something far more intentional. We're talking about public funds in a place where money can allegedly vanish without a trace. Non-approved employees, still sitting, pretty on the township payroll including folks who lied during Tiffany's administration. And now, events are being greenlit without public budget disclosures. Monica Jared? Y'all see this mess? At least the last circus had the decency to show us the budget before robbing us blind. And let's talk about that Bible quote. You told Ben Rowley, a workman is worthy of his wages. Cute, but let me redirect you to a more appropriate verse. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. So tell me, what do your steps look like? Because from the outside, they ain't looking to divine. That reflection in the mirror? Might want to check it twice. And to the rest of the board, remember why you're even sitting there. You weren't carried in on Napoleon's coattails. You were elected in your own right? So ask yourself, did you sign up for this to help the community? Or to get clout and play politics, status or service, fame or infamy? Because right now, y'all looking real forgettable for all the wrong reasons. She nailed it. Killed it. And that last statement, been replaying in my head ever since. Because yeah, we already know what Napoleon's motive was. That man moves like a villain with a fake smile. But what about the rest of them? What about the ones who stood on the front lines during the Tiffany takedown and now suddenly gone mute? Mary Avant, the woman with the glasses, the ones who used to be loud, passionate, front row soldiers. The crowd knows who they are, and the crowd sees their silence. So why aren't they saying anything now? Why go quiet when things get uncomfortable? Did the mission change, or did they?